One of the questions I get asked the most is how to wholesale a tenant-occupied property. And how many leads have you got?
Probably a total of 7 so far. I'm on more South Jersey right now. I have this guy, he's like 80 years old, and he has like multiple rental properties, and he literally keeps blowing my phone up.
He wants to sell.
Well, yeah, and I'm trying to figure out how I would go about it. He has a tenant, because I did a big absentee owner list. So that's the problem I'm running into, how to wholesale with the tenants already in there.
Yeah. The first thing you want to look at is find out if it's a month-to-month lease.
Yeah.
Or if it's a long-term lease. If it's a month-to-month lease, I don't know what you guys' state laws are. In some states, you got to give them 90 days, and some days it's 30
I think that's what it is, 90.
You guys are 90?
Yeah.
So finding that out, because if it's month-to-month and you can get them out in 90 days, that's going to be more appealing to somebody that wants to flip the property than if the guy's got, a year left in his lease. Because a lot of guys that are flipping, they're not going to want to sit on it,
Sit on it for a while, yeah. He also said the person's not paying the rent, so.
So it might be an eviction as well.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, I would still find out if there's a lease in place, but now, use it on both sides. So with the seller, use that to get that price down as low as possible. Mm-hmm. And then when you go to sell it, you can sell it and you're like, look, you can get this guy out. Even if he comes up with his money, you get him out in 3 months. And if he doesn't, you can evict him now. And so that might be appealing to a fix and flipper as well, because they're like, well, cool, I'll just pencil in, whatever it's going to cost me for the eviction, and then I can start working on my remodel and flip this house.
So would I go to the seller, to make the deal sound better? Would I just tell the seller, that I'll handle everything?
100%.
As far as the eviction side, okay.
Absolutely. You just tell them, you're like, well, look, what if you could just, be done with this problem?
Yeah.
Close in 30 days or less, and you don't have to do anything. I'll take over with the tenant. Maybe I can work a deal out with him. If I can't, and it has to get drawn out legal stuff, then that'll be my responsibility. You'll already have your money and be out of the picture.
That's the way I was going to go about it, just to make his life better.
Yeah, and then just make a super, super low offer and find out, how low he's willing to go.
Yeah.
If you're getting something out of this, please hit that little like button down there. Then on the other side, click subscribe, and next to it, tap that little bell, and you're going to get notifications every time we drop a new episode. Also, let me know in the comments what market you're in, and leave the word in all caps, committed, and let's do this together.
So with this deal I'm working on now, I'm trying to figure out how I would position it to buyers if it's a tenant in there, and how I would be able to get photos and everything if the tenant doesn't allow me in.
What's that?
How would I be able to get photos of the property if the tenant doesn't allow me in the house? Yeah.
That can be a little bit tricky if the tenant's not paying rent. The easiest way I found is that you get the contact information. Number one, I would try to get an idea of what kind of condition it's in from the seller. And if he doesn't know, then assume the worst. Try to get it at a super low price. Yeah. If you get inside and you find out it's not a deal, right? Or you get inside and you try to sell it and you find out it's not a deal, then you cut it. Right? But the easiest thing would be get it at a price that you're like, I'm pretty sure even if this thing's on fire, it's a good deal. And then ask for the tenant contact info and tell the seller, look, if you can provide me with the lease and the contact information, I'm not going to ruffle any feathers. I'm going to be like Mr. Nice Guy with this guy and see if I can offer him an incentive. And sometimes if it's a good enough deal, again, this is an advanced tactic, but sometimes you can bribe the tenants. Hey, I need to come out and take a couple pictures for the owner, but a couple of things going on. I can pay you $100. I only need to be in the property for 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. Or you could tell them something like, hey, I'm going to be the new owner. My goal would be to work with you as much as possible. Mm-hmm. If you could let me in, and I only need 5 or 10 minutes into the property. If you could work with me to get me in, I'm going to be able to work with you on the past due rents and all that kind of thing. So you really just want to try to play the Mr. Nice Guy first. Now, if the tenant's like, F you, at the end of the day, you're just going to have to hope that price is ridiculously low and decide, if you can do something with it or not. But you might be able to sell it, if you get it at a low enough price, you might be able to sell it with just exterior pictures and market it to investors. Hey, this is an incredible opportunity. You're going to have to evict the tenant, but here's the lease, but we have the lease information. The tenant wouldn't let us inside, but you're getting it at 400,000 and it's worth 800,000, or you're getting it at 30,000 and it's worth 130, right? That would be kind of like your last option.